Hello everybody, Miss Jackie Russell here, and we're starting off July makeup looks with Ipsy. Oh yeah, I got my replacement, the Natasha Denona. Remember my first one was busted, and this is how it came. This time they packed it in a box instead of one of those, I guess, envelopes. And this is what was in there, so I'm surprised. That's it. I'm surprised, but it didn't break. So I'm going to start off with my makeup looks for July with the Ipsy Natasha Denona replacement palette. Love that face. And I've already got it on. I've already used it, but I wanted to show you that I did get a replacement. And that was my box, obviously. And this is the Natasha Denona Love Face palette. It's a very pretty palette. And one thing I will say with this one, it always opens up with this lifted no matter what. The other one, it was down and not lifted, which was good because my highlighter thing was all broke up. But I used everything in the palette, and I've got the puppies out playing, so you'll hear the little jacks. They'll be a little loud. So anyway, I already have my look on, and I used every color in this palette, and I started off with the baby pink here, and I put that all over my lid, and then I did draw on a line with a purple liner, Revant liner purple. I outlined my eyes prior to putting on this, and then I put this darker pink halfway over on each side toward, going from the middle to the outer. Then, of course, I have the darkest color in the corners for a cat eye look. And then I put this shade over all of it and up here on top. And then I used a little of this for the insides of the crease line. And I used some of this up above that. So you kind of got that, I don't know if it's pink or reddish hue, whatever color you call that, rust. And then I also used this all over, and then for highlighter, and I added more for my highlighter, and I'll show you in a minute. And then the blush I have on is the cream blush. I guess it's just in pink or something. So anyway, I have that on. I'm going to tell you, it's not very strong. I mean, like, it's not highly pigmented. I had to put a lot of application on just to get the little color that I got. I do have Estee Lauder on as my foundation. And I've got a mix of Warm 4, W4, C4, and Sepia C5, which is a darker color. I got all that mixed on. And so that's my foundation look. Let me go on with some of the other things that I used. For my liner, after I used the Revant purple, that's what I started off with. After I got everything on, that's what I used. I decided it needed to be deeper. So I got out my liner that I got from Ice Cream Beauty. Can't ever remember the name of this. I think it's a Charmancy. It says it's a Durochrome. Yeah, Charmacy. But I just used the liquid liner, and I went over, halfway over on both sides. I even went down on each side, just a little bit on each side with this as well to kind of give me an outline. And then, of course, with that dark purple that you've seen there, I put that toward the insides, outer to the inside. And then that helped line it, but then I popped it with a little bit of blue, and I don't even know if you can see the blue anymore, but I had it with a little bit of blue right on top, and I'll just resurface across there. Yeah, see, you can see that, because that's how it was. I did a Estee Lauder blue on top just to bring some color. Now it's almost looking white on there. And then, of course, I did use the cream that I use on my waterline. Whoops, not that black. This cream. Brighten up my eyes. So now when I look in the mirror over here, I see blue. But when I look into here, it looks more whitish. So you'll just have to let me know. But those are the colors. And then I also use this highlighter. It's a highlighter concealer, and it's a $1 Billion Brows. And I believe I used this white, and you can tell I went right to the insides here, inside over, and then I covered it with the Natasha Denona highlighter. Now, I don't use the highlighter, I guess, maybe on your face like people are supposed to, like over here. I just used it on my eyes. But it's a beautiful palette. I think I got a very pretty look out of it, and I really like it. I don't know if I was surprised, but I was surprised with this one color because I was afraid of how it was going to look. It looks out of place, this one here. It's kind of an orangey color, so I don't know. But anyway, I used it. Showed you my liners. Showed you my blush. Oh, I did use the Glow Recipe Glow Primer. It's the BHA Strawberry Pore Smooth Blow Drops. I use that for my primer, over my Estee Lauder Scrumptious Supreme Moisturizer. So I use that instead of using the Estee Lauder primer. I use that one. And then I did use the PrimeLash Volumizer, which you can see, it's volumizing them out. And guys, I have been using the serum. So I guess I've got a whole month's worth just about from June using the serum. And I do think they're getting longer. So, I think it is working, which, I kind of expected it to, but you never know. But yeah, I think they are getting longer, and this is definitely a great mascara. I love it. And then for my lip liner, I use Estee Lauder Pink, and I like that color. It's just a real nice little color of pink. And then I used my Pink Confession, and that's this with Estee Lauder, and that's a special pink. I don't know if you can get it all the time, but it's Pink Obsession is what it actually is. It's a very pretty color, and I love it. So that's how I started off for my July. This is actually toward the end of June, but it's going to be in my July startups for my makeup looks. And then I use Buxom Russian. This is a light pink. It's called White Russian. And I like this, and I'm trying. It's White Russian Sparkle. And I seen it in the Ipsy sale, so I'm hoping that I get it. But their site went down when I was trying to finish my buy, so I don't know. Hey! Stop it. But anyway, that's my look for today, so I just wanted to pop on here and show y'all that I did get my replacement. Oh, and about that palette that was busted, someone suggested I should just give it away. And I'm more than happy to do that. Could you let me know down in the comments if you'd be interested in that palette? But anyway, that's my look for today. Be sure and use hashtag Jubilee in this video to be entered into the Jubilee Weekly and the Monthly. If you want to share it. Let me know where you shared it and when, and you'll be entered into that month's Jubilee. But as for today, we're going to move right on to the next look. Hello there, we're on to the next look. And today I've got another Natasha Denona on, and it goes on lovely, and I really like it. What do you think about this look? It's very, I want to say sultry-like, but also not so bold or glamorous. Maybe it is, I don't know. But I like it. It's a nice soft look, and I'm going to show you what I used in the palette. And I do want to tell you, some of you have been asking me about the Olaplex Detox number 4. This stuff works great. I've got it in my hair right now, and I'll just show you. You just put it in, fluff up your hair a little bit, and it detoxes it, and it smells good too. But I've been liking it, so I'm glad I like it because I have several cans of it. But this stuff works great, and I think it even helps fluff up your hair. So I would highly recommend the Olaplex number 4D Detox Shampoo. Clean your volume, and it does say volume, so no wonder it volumes it up. And it still leaves my shine in my hair, so I really like it. Okay, on my eyes, I use the Natasha Denona palette that I got from Ipsy that I thought I was getting a different one. This is the Rose and Wood palette, and I do like it, so I don't want to say I didn't like it. These are the colors. It's very pretty, as you could tell. I've got all the colors on. I've got the lighter colors on here and here, all over, top, bottom. Then I've got the rosy color on the inner corners going toward the outer edges. I use this in my crease, as you can probably tell, and I use this again in my outer corners because that's what I usually do. I didn't use it real thick, like bringing it in, just a little bit to keep my eyes open, because I do believe that for me and my little hooded eyes that it helps open it up. And I always try to go up with my look. I don't have my eyeliner going up today. I just use the eyeshadow to pull that look off. The eyeliners that I've got on today is this lilac, I think. It's not violet, with Estee Lauder, and that's on halfway over and halfway under, and I do that too to open up my eyes. If I go all the way over, it'll close my eyes up a little bit, and I brighten my eye with white or cream. Today I'm using this Macy's special that I got. It's called a cream gel liner. There's no brand on it. I bought it as a package of 6 that Macy was offering, so it's probably Clinique or Estee Lauder or somebody that makes it for them. So those are the things that's on my eyes. I did use my PrimeLash, and this here is the Lengthening and Volume Mascara, and this one here is in Mulberry, and this has nutrients in it. As you can tell, I think it has been making my lashes longer. And you can also, it's buildable, so you know, we can always add to it if we want to, and I always do after I've already got it on. But now this mascara will stay on all day and night if I sleep in it, and y'all do know I'm guilty of that. Okay, for my eyebrow pencil, I use Winky Lux today, and I don't know if y'all can see. It's a universal eyebrow pencil, so anybody can use it. It's Unibrow. It says Winky Lux, and I love the packaging. And this is the color, and that's what I have used. And of course, it has a spoolie to brush it out. And you know, it's one of my other favorites. I use Estee Lauder. Of course, I use the BBB the most. But today I use that one because I use Winky Lux on my lips today. For my blush, I use my Estee Lauder palette. I don't know if it's got a name on here. It just says Pink Color MV Cheek Palette for a glow. And I used all 3 colors. I used the pink, of course, for my blush. And then I highlighted a little bit with this on each upper sides. And then I went with the bronzer underneath here, the bronzer underneath my chin, down my neck, and then a little up here and down my nose. So that's what I use. I like this palette. It's a nice little one palette, great for travel when you don't want to have a bunch of different things. And the pink is just right. Now on my lips, I use my Estee Lauder pink liner, and I really like this liner. And I did use this as my primer, the YSL, and this is a blur primer. It's a liquid, you know, so it's kind of got silicone base in it, so it makes a nice primer, and it helps glow the skin up too, I think, but it blurs it as well. And let's see, where's my Winky Lux? Okay, I got the Winky Lux from my FabFitFun on my lipstick, and this is the pink that I've got on with the pink eyeliner or lip liner from Estee Lauder. And then I am using the White Russian Sparkle as my plumper on top, and I really like this color, and I don't know if they make it anymore, but I found it, you know, in my stuff, you know, found it. Sounds like I never find anything, but I do. And I also topped this the Naked Sundays. This is an SPF 50 so that I would have SPF on my lips. And this is a Glow and Go lip oil, and it smells just like watermelon. I got this out of my TEMU box and I love it. I'm going to put this in my purse, but I did add that on too. So that's my look today. I hope y'all are having a great day, and we're going to have some more looks for July. But this is my Natasha Denona Rose and Wood eye look that I got from my Ipsy Mega Drop Shop. And the previous look that you saw was the Natasha Denona. I think it's the Love Face Makeup Palette or something like that. And that had the pinks in it as well. They were more brighter pinks, but I hope you like that look. I hope you like this one. I like this one. It's kind of a more natural look with a little bit of sultry in there. But be sure and use hashtag Jubilee in this video, and let's go on to the next one. Hello everybody, Miss Jackie Russell here, and I have another look from Natasha Denona. And this was the Hot Topics that was in our, I guess, BoxyCharm a couple of months ago. And it's a very pretty palette. Looks like this. Looks like I've got it a little dirty. But this is my palette. Let me show you the colors. I would say they're kind of natural colors with a little bit of gray in it. And it gives you a natural smoky look, or it gave me a natural smoky look. And I'm not exactly even. I didn't use my liner as a, I guess, as a guide. So I'm a little offset here, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and go with it. But of course, I started off with the lighter shade all over. Then I topped it with the shiny all over. Did that first. Then I did this brown in the center over. I didn't pull it all the way over, just kind of to the center over. And then I used this color as my crease line color. And then I use this in the outer edges. And those two colors come off pretty close together. And that was the look that I got. And I like it. It's just a nice soft look. And then I had used, prior to putting on my foundation, I used the Glow Recipe Strawberry BHA Pore Smooth Blur Primer. So I put that on before, put on my Estee Lauder. I had spritzed it beforehand with this new Biro, and I thought that was really good. I like this. This is very nice. It's a light mist. I did set my makeup after I had it all on with my Estee Lauder makeup. This is Set and Refresh Perfecting Makeup. So I've got that on. And I also used the Estee Lauder palette that has the pink blush. So I just went a little pinky today with my little gray nude tones up here. On my eyeliner, I used this one, which is a double wear. Haven't shown this one to you, I don't think. It's Cold Noir by Estee Lauder, and it's more of like a gray. So it looks dark there, but it didn't come off that dark, did it? So I must have did a light use of that, but that's what my liner is. And so, which is good. I didn't want it to be real dark. It does have a smudger on the end, so if you want to smudge it a bit, you can. I usually don't even use that. I probably use a Q-tip. When I finished my makeup after I had my concealer and my foundation on, I used the Bella Pierre Banana Setting Powder, which I like this. It does really well. And let's see, on the eyeliner, I did use that cream Estee Lauder in my waterline and a little bit to the inside out. So that's what's on my eyes, other than I did use this new mascara. Now, I did not use PrimeLash this time. We're in July, so I'll start using up some different mascaras. But I am going to keep using it because I think it's making my lashes longer. I don't have my eyelashes curled. And I use this Lash Sense, which is also a volumizer. And it just says Intense Mascara. So it really doesn't have like what I'd call nutrients in it. I thought maybe that it might. It's got a nice little wand, and I just got this out of my Trend Mood box. And so I thought, hey, let's try this one today. And it works and performs very good. So this must be an upcoming mascara, so be on the lookout for it, because you know she puts stuff in there that's on trend. And I don't usually do much with my lashes underneath, but anyways, that's what I used. And then I used my Estee Lauder pink lip liner. I used the Winky Lux pink plumper, reapply a little bit, and then I used that White Russian Buxom. I'm really liking that. I think if I'm supposed to get it in my BoxyCharm box as an add-on. You can't get this, I don't think, anymore. So when I seen it come up in their sale, I grabbed it real quick. You might can, I don't know, but it's White Russian Sparkle, and I really like it. So that's what I have on my face today, so I thought I would just show y'all. And I might miss myself. It's so hot in Texas. Are y'all hot? Woo! It's hot in Texas. We're in June. No, we're in July. Sorry, we're in July, and this is going to be, July and August are going to be the hottest months. So I hope y'all are all staying cool. We're going to get ready, and we're going to move right on to the next look, which I'm not sure if it'll be Natasha Denona or not, but I'm trying to do all the palettes that I have with Natasha Denona this month. And then this is how it looks. I really think it did a beautiful look. It's a very pretty palette. I've been enjoying the Natasha Denona, and hopefully the next one will be another look from them. And let me know what you think about this look. But now let's head on to the next look. Okay guys, we're on to the next look, and this time I have used a lot of new product, new to you, so to speak, new to me. I have used them before, but I always use specifics like cleansers and things, and this time I switched it up. So I'm going to go through everything today so you'll know what I used. I first cleansed my face with Revant, and this is our next look in for the July looks. This is a wonderful cleanser. Revant is a great product. I think this has volcano stuff in it. It tells you all the ingredients right there on the top. Hydrolyzed walnut, wintergreen leaf, extract, copper glycerin, topfurial, propanol, and I don't know some of those numbers, magnesium, and something panathol. Anyways, it tells you everything that's on there. It is a great cleanser. I really like it. It's the blue volcanic stone purifying and antioxidizing cleansing gel. I was thinking it had volcano in it. Anyway, I used that. I used Revant's Shea Butter Hyaluronic Vitamin B3 Seawater and Sweet Almond. This is their Deluxe Hyaluronic Acid Verifying Face and Eye Night Cream. And I probably shouldn't have put that on, but I did because I didn't read that it was night cream. I thought it was for face and eye. But I've got that on. I also used, some of this has makeup on it, I think, from being in this box with it. I put on the Revant Niacinamide Tripeptide Hyaluronic Meadow Foam Powerful, I guess, shea butter, and this here is a protein complex restructuring niacinamide defense serum, and I've got that on as well. I also use their eye serum, which is the antioxidizing microalgae eye protectant serum, and I've got this on. It doesn't, hurt my eyes. I'm sensitive to some things. It's hyaluronic, Danuala, Selena. I don't know if I can read all that the way they've got it, but you can kind of see how they have their ingredients on the outside. And then I moisturize with the Revant This is the Supreme Hyaluronic Acid Antioxidizing Duo Moisturizer. So you have both your hyaluronic and your moisturizer in here, and then those are they have vitamin C, they had lecithin, Marius, Aquara, jojoba oil. So it's Age Nutra Revive. So I like it. It does a good job on my skin. I don't use it that often because I'm mostly using other cleansers and Estee Lauder and some of that. But I did use that, so I wanted to show y'all that. I also went a different route for my, well, I forgot to bring it in here. I used the Glow Recipe Blur Primer. And then I mixed the Glow Recipe bronzer with 2 pumps of the Morph that I got out of my BoxyCharm, and this color is in tan. So I got these 2 on for my foundation, so I've got that little bit of glow. And then I got out my NARS concealer, which is basically the same color, I think, as, almost looks like a bronze. It's pretty much like the tan right here, so it matched it up pretty good. Got that on. Then I used loose powder, which I didn't bring in here, but it was one of my loose powders. I think it was, can't remember. But then I went to eyeshadows. So let's get on to the eyeshadow look here. That's what y'all are mostly here for. But I just wanted to show you some different product. I used my Charlotte Tilbury palette today, and this has got these beautiful colors in it. I used the flat matte pink all over my eye. I then used this brown in my crease and a little of this one, and then in the corners I have just a little bit of this one. And then I put this color all over top and bottom across my lids, and then I went in and I popped it with this blue, and that's what's in the center of my eyes, is a little bit of the blue. And depending how the light hits it and which way I shift, depending on how much color you see. But this is my Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Beauty Verse palette, and it's got beautiful colors in it. I've really enjoyed it. I got it in, I think I got it in her mystery box last summer. So, okay, eyeliner. What did I do with eyeliner? I got my Estee Lauder out. I've got the cream on. I've got it in my waterline. I've got it on top almost all the way over. All I did with this Noor was just in the corners, and I mean like you can just see a quarter on each side. Just a little bit to like bring them out. I didn't do any like wings. I just did the corners on the very edges. I don't know if I'm showing you the right way so you can even see it, but that's what I did. And then for mascara, I used the Lancome, I don't know if you say that, Idle Flutter Extension, and it worked pretty good actually. And I have been using my serum from PrimeLash, and that is working good too. I think I like that mascara better than this one. I don't know that it brought them out, but I can say that they're long, and I can see that they're long. I just don't know if this is the right mascara for me, but I'm trying to get it up as long as I can. It may not extend as well as other mascaras. So if you're looking for one to be thick and volumizing, this may not be the one for that. But overall, it worked pretty good. It's got flutter extension, it says. So I can see it, and that improved it just a little bit. I used the BBB Universal Brow. That was for my eyebrows. And then I used for my lip gloss, or my lip liner, was my Nude with Estee Lauder, which I need to sharpen it pretty soon. And then I decided to use a NARS lipstick since I used the NARS concealer. I don't have a lot of NARS products, but I thought I would use some that I do have. And that's the Lippy, which is very pretty. And then I got this Naked Sunday lip oil out of my trend box, the trend mood box, and I just love this stuff. You put it on and you can taste and smell that watermelon, and it's just luscious. Oh, okay, and my blush was Charlotte Tilbury's, and you can't even read that. It's Hollywood. I can't even read it. But it is a pink, and it's a highlighter blush. I can't read it. I don't know if I can get it up here where I can read it or not. It's a beauty wand, and it's a blush illuminator, and I think it's in pink. Yeah, it's in pink. So that was my blush, and then I did use an Ofra highlighter. This is very pretty. I put it on top for a little bit extra glow, which I hardly ever do, and I put a little bit up at the top of my eyebrows for a little extra glow up there. And then I did use the Charlotte Tilbury for my contouring, and this is a very dark palette, but it doesn't come off that dark because I've got it underneath my cheeks, I've got it underneath my chin, I've got it up here down my nose, so you can see it doesn't come off as dark as it looks. But that's my look, and I did finish it off with the Airbrush by Charlotte Tilbury. That's flawless. So that was my complete look today, including my cleanser. I used all the Revant that I had. Well, not all of it. I've got a bunch of Revant because I got one of their advent calendars. So I've got lots to use with the Revant. And if you ever wondered about Revant, it is a very good brand. Their products are very good. They're made natural. You can tell by a lot of the items that they put in there that they're using, you know, more natural ingredients. So they're kind of, I don't know if they're clean like vegan free, but they're for sure a very good product to try and use. So that is my look today. I've kind of taken longer on this because I was showing y'all some other things, but I just thought y'all might appreciate that. And let me know what you think about this Charlotte Tilbury look. It's kind of a glowy, dewy look and a little pop of color. And I probably didn't have to do the pop of color, but I did. I get carried away sometimes. Let me know, do you like it? But anyways, that's all I have. Be sure and use hashtag Jubilee in this video if you want to be a part of the Jubilee giveaways. And now we're going to go on to the next video. Okay, we're on to the next look. This is the Ofra palette that I just got from Ipsy, and it had the Rodeo Drive, I guess, highlighter in it. It was called the Signature Palette Luxe, and I made a look out of it, and these are the colors that I worked with, which was all real neutral, and I think overall it turned out pretty good. I started off with this, hush puppy, started off with this color over here all over, then I put a little shimmer on it with that, and then I used this in my crease to the upper, I guess middle to upper. Then I also used some of the brown in the crease and the outer edges. And then of course I used the Rodeo Drive highlighter for my up here, I guess under my brow, and then I also went over it with my eyes. So this is my look for the Champagne Wishes is what it calls it. And I thought it turned out pretty good. I used the Charlotte Tilbury blush. This is a pink, and it's very pink. And pretty soon I'll have the summer mystery boxes. I got a pink and a peach. That'll be coming out soon if you hadn't already seen it, or maybe it is out, you can go back and look at it. I used my BBB $1 Billion Eyebrow Liquid Eyeliner, and it is halfway over or quarter over, and then halfway over on the lid, and then a little bit of a wing. I've got my favorite cream color in my waterline, and a little bit on each side going out, as I usually do. And I use my mulberry, nope, not the black, I use the mulberry mascara from Prime Cosmetics, which I have a coupon, Miss Jackie Russell, for 15%, and it grows and lengthens and nourishes your lashes. And here comes the rain. We've got a storm coming. You can probably hear it hitting the windows. So I really like that. Mulberry, very nice. 15%, Miss Jackie Russell. I'll have my link down in the description. And let's see, what else did I do? I used my regular Estee Lauder. And I did bring in the PrimeLash serum. I am using this on my lashes at least 4 times a week now. I've been doing it for about, I think, 5 weeks, maybe 6. And look at that. They're doing really good. Do not curl my lashes. These are my lashes, 65 years old and growing out. Pretty good with that PrimeLash. You can get a combo deal for $62, less 15%, in case you're interested in getting the serum. But anyways, what else did I do? Okay, on my brow, I used the Anastasia Brow, and this is the brow definer, and it's a medium brown, so that's my eyebrow. And then I got out my Buxom lip liner, so it's a lip liner plush, or lip liner plumper, and it's in the mauve color, so I have that on. Very nice color. And then I found my Buxom, and this is just like a big old lippy here, and so you could probably use this as a blush too. Hush! But I got that on for my lip color and for plumping. And then I got my ginger out because, you know, kind of a orangey cream neutral color. So I went cool with my shadow, with my blush. So that's what I have on today. And I'm not sure whether this is going to show up in the July or August, but that was the Ofra palette. Let me know what you think about the look. And it was the signature palette that she calls Champagne Wishes Come True. So very nice. And I did use some of the Rodeo Drive highlighter on my cheeks after I sprayed it down with Charlotte Tilbury airbrush. So I did the airbrush, then I put the highlighter on. That's the new thing. So I'm trying to keep up with the times. But that's all I have. Let me know what you think. And now on to the next one. Hello everybody. I'm back with another look. That's right. I have another look, and this time it's from my BoxyCharm. And yes, I have on the LYS foundation. And I have on the eyeshadow palette from the, I forgot what it was actually called, the Beauty by Belle, but it was, I forgot. But anyway, I had this palette colors on, some of them. And I had makeup blush from YLS as well. And I've got that blush on. So I'm really blushed out there. It says on there, make me blush. And then I've got some other things that were from my BoxyCharm. So I guess I'm just going to start off with the eye palette. No, I'm going to start off with the, with the YLS. I've got this foundation on. It is the only foundation color I have on today. So I didn't add any other colors or anything to it. I did put on this blush, and I used the top one. And guys, oh man, this is a powerful blush when it says make me blush. And you can see it's kind of messy there where I got into it, but that's the liquid color, and I put way too much on. I had to do some correcting, even with my blush or my stick that I got from her. And this color is called, what color is that? Nude Lavarelli. I don't know how you say that. I'm just going to tell you one thing. It didn't look too nude to me. It looked pretty bright. But I do have it toned down just a little bit. But let me just get a little bit of this off of here. Hope it hadn't dried out. Just to show you how dark that it came on. And I touched it up a little bit. I don't know if that really shows you anything. I probably just made a mess out of my face. But that's okay. I'm not going anywhere. But anyway, I used that. And I need to use that lavender. I've never seen that color. Have you? I used that, and then I did use my Charlotte Tilbury airbrush, and then I put my Illamasqua highlighter on over that. And that looks like this. Very pretty color, very shiny. And I also used the YLS, and this is the Blur Primer. So I had some of that, so I tried to use as much as I could that I have of the YLS brand. And then of course I used this palette. What did I use? Well, you can probably figure that I used the brown, and I did, in the corner. It's called Bow, and it's right over here. I used Bow there in my corners and a little in the crease, and I also used this in the crease. I went over all my eyes with this white color here, then put on some of the gold, and then I went over, and you can tell I used this here. I put it in the center, and I'm not sure if you can tell that I have it on there or not, but I put the white and the gold up on top of my eyes underneath my brows. So that was the eyeshadow look that I got with that palette. Kind of going with a natural smoke, I guess, look. And I really like this palette. And the colors went on good. I didn't have to use like a whole lot. It blended really good. And I don't think I used any other colors on there. Just about 4 or 5 colors there on the Bybel palette. And then I used Love Who You Are, LWYA. I used her liner, and I just went like a quarter under and then a quarter over, and just a little bit of a tip wing on each side. And of course I did use my cream that I used with Estee Lauder in my waterlines, and just a little bit on each inside, and that's a cream color. And mascara wise, brow, I used my new brow from my BoxyCharm. That's the Scone, and this was medium brown, and it worked out well. So that's a go. And I used mascara wise, what I have on is the Mulberry, and it's the Mulberry from PrimeLash mascara. Yeah, it really extends my lashes. I really like it. I'm just going to give them a boost there. But yeah, you can see how well it works. I like this color too. It goes really good when you're wearing browns, and I like that that is the case. So anyways, I like this, and of course, you know, I've got a discount down in my description if you're interested, or a link to go over and check it out. And I have been using the PrimeLash serum, which is right here, and I'm not going to put it on. I put it on when I washed my face, got my eyes cleaned off. I put it on above there, and I really do think it's been lengthening and strengthening and making them thicker. I think they are. I really do. So anyway, that's been a good buy. And I did buy that, even though I'm an affiliate. Now I buy my products. I've tried just about everything. And then I used my new Bisha lip pencil, and this was really good. And I'm going to go over it because it's been a while since I put it on. Been working all day. Had to take my husband to the doctor, the ear doctor, and they were checking on his hearing aids. And then I used this color, my Confection Pink with Estee Lauder, because I thought I would need some pink on with my pink cheeks. And then I got out my Too Faced lip gloss, and I don't know if this has a name on it. Just a Girl. So, got that on. And Too Faced Lip Plumper. It's one of my faves. I like Buxom the absolute best, but this is right up there. So yeah, I think that's everything that I have on. Then of course I finished it with this, and I already told you that. And this palette, like I said, is very nice. If you get a chance to get it, I would recommend it. So that's my look today. And my goodness, I don't know if we're at the end of this. I've got a lot of beauty looks this month. Y'all are probably going to get tired of seeing them. But be sure and use hashtag Jubilee in a sentence if you're interested in being in the Jubilee. But as for now, that's all I have. And now on to the next one. And now on to the next one. The next one. Anyways, that's where we're going to the next video. Hello everybody, Miss Jackie Russell here. I've got my next eye look, and yeah, I've got my L'Oreal Blue Mascara on, and I've got my Cobalt Blue Estee Lauder in the corners coming out, and on the inside going toward the center I have the Sky Blue Estee Lauder. So I blued it up, and I used my new palette from Laura Geller that I got from my BoxyCharm purchase. And I also added Estee Lauder Blue Palette, which I think I had mentioned to y'all I'd probably do that. So that is how I got this look, and we're going to go over it, and I'm going to just start off with my basics. I did use the Glow Recipe. I'm really enjoying this. Glow Recipe Strawberry BHA Pore Smoother Plus, or Blur Drops, and I use it as a primer. After I put that on, well, before I put that on, yeah, I put that on, the primer. Then I put on my Estee Lauder 5C2, which is Sepia, and I used the Glow Recipe, 1 drop of this, because this is really kind of strong, and then just a couple of squirts of that. And this is my Estee Lauder Double Wear. I wear that more than anything else, and I think you already know that. After I had used the primer and put on the makeup, I topped it off with this Kapari Bright and Day Sheer Mineral Sunscreen. So I've got the SPF 50 on. I really like this, and this is a nice little, I guess, light color. It has good coverage if you just want to wear this only, but I put it over the top. And then my blush is in the face palette with Laura Geller, so I guess we can go over that. I will grab my L'Oreal Voluminous Original, and again it is in the Cobalt Blue, and I really like this mascara. You can see it's very blue. It's like neon blue. And it's also a lash, it says lash extender or make them longer, and I think it does pretty good. And it definitely gives me them blue eyelashes. And then of course with the Estee Lauder on top of that, then I've got double the trouble, so to speak, with blue. So I did use the L'Oreal, which I told you I would. And then with my palette, I started off with the Laura Geller. I did make a little boo-boo when I was taking this off. It was hard to get off, so I've got a dent in one of my purples there. But I went over my eyes with this pale pink, and she calls it, what does she call it? Nougat. I went over it with that. And then I went over it with this purplish color, then this color. And in my crease, I have this brown, and in the outer edges, I have this darker brown. And then I used the blush, and then I also used the highlighter. And the blush is in Taffy, and then the highlighter's in Gummy Bear. And those two purple colors are Bubblegum and Bonbon. And, you know, I liked them pretty good. I think it did a good job. And that's my base colors. I did use this white or cream color up here on top. Sweet Tooth all over the upper part of my eyebrow, or underneath my eyebrow, I guess I should say. So that was my Laura Geller palette that I just got from my Ipsy box. Then I went and grabbed my Estee Lauder, and this is Pure Color Envy, and it's a sculpting eyeshadow palette, and it's called Dark Ego. So let me show you what it looks like. It's very dark, and I get a lot of good blue looks out of this. But for this look, I took this lighter color blue. It almost looks gray. I don't want to blind you. Almost looks gray. But I took this blue over here, and I went straight down the center of my eyes. So I went from the top of the lid down straight with the blue and a little over, not much. And then I took that darker blue, which is the very dark color there, and I have just a little bit dotted into my corner of my eyes. And don't know if you can tell, but that's what I did. And then I used this eyeliner. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. It's actually called Electric Cobalt Blue, and you can see it's very blue, pretty much like my mascara. And then I used the sky blue, and that's what that looks like. And on the other end, I didn't use this, but I think this is a navy. It's called Marine, so it's like a dark navy, but I didn't use it. I used the cobalt and that, and I went heavy with the sky blue and the cobalt underneath. I even went in my waterline with the blue, and I came up over half on each side, and then of course I've got the cobalt blue going down the edges. So that is my eye look, and I thought it turned out pretty. Let me know what you think. It's a little bit more bolder, especially for during the day, but that's what I did. Now on my lips, I decided I would use my CoverGirl lip stain. It's called CoverGirl. It's Outlash, I don't know, it's CoverGirl, and what color is it? Jazzberry. And that's what this looks like, and I used that for my liner, and it worked really good. Stays on. And then I decided to use my Estee Lauder that I got from my supporting the breast cancer month. It's number 564, and it's Crystal Baby. And this is the color. It's kind of a muted rose pink. It's very pretty, and it's probably hard to tell with what I have on top of it, because what I did was I wanted that pink look, so I put on the pink gloss that I had gotten called Sinless from the Mega Slick Lip Gloss, and this is Wet and Wild. And I really like this. It's really pink. And so if you're looking for a really pink lip gloss, and it keeps your lips feeling moist. It's not a plumper. Just makes them feel moist. But hey guys, that's my look today. Let me know what you think about this with the cobalt blue mascara from L'Oreal and my Laura Geller palette. I like it. It's very colorful. And that's it for today. And now on to the next look. Hello everybody. Well, I'm here with the next look. And I wasn't expecting to do a look the next day. And it may be a little similar to yesterday's or the last one you've seen, but it is different. I've got on my Estee Lauder foundation now, and I have on a different blush, and I've used a little bit different shadows. The blush I have on is the Pat McGrath Labs, and this is that peachy one that I like. Yeah, I panned it, but I haven't finished it, and I'm kind of glad because I really like this. I can never remember the name of it. Divine Blush, I guess is the name or the color of it. I think it's Desert Orchid. I don't know. Anyway, I really like it. So I have that blush on. I've got my Estee Lauder on. I did my regular routine as far as my face cleansing and all that. I did use a different highlighter. This is dirty. Look at that. Ooh, it's got all the splatters, but Illamasqua, is that how you say that? Illamasqua. I've got this one now. I've got to figure out how to open it. That there's the color. It's just a little brilliance. And I put it on actually after I put on the Charlotte Tilbury face setter, because I just read on the icon box thing that their new trend is put your makeup on, set it, and then put your highlighter on. So I tried that. So I don't know, what do y'all think? I also put a little bit of it up there. And as far as my shadows, oh, here, I use my Estee Lauder Bronze Goddess palette. And I think this one is in, I don't know, it says Matte and Glow Bronze and Trio. It doesn't really give you a color. 01 Miracle? I don't know, maybe that's it. Anyways, I've hit pan in it, but I can still use it, so I do. And that goes here, here, down my neck, up around my forehead there. And so that's my contouring, I guess, as you say. Now, what did I do with my eyes? I'll get to my lips in a minute. The first thing I did is I went in with this dark Charlotte Tilbury, and I don't know what color she calls this. It's Color Chameleon, and Golden Quartz is what she calls it. But that's the color, so it's really dark. So I've got that in my inner, in my crease. And then I got a blender brush and blended it. And then I put this one, which is Champagne Diamonds, and that's what this color looks like. And then I put, that's kind of like a peachy color. I don't know if you can tell on my hand, but I put that on the insides over. And then I blended that, and then I thought, okay, I need some white or some darker or lighter color, so I put this white up here. And my eyebrow, and this is called the Duo Pencil Concealer Highlighter, and this is BBB, Billion Dollar Brow, and I've got the Billion Dollar Brow eyebrow on. Didn't bring it in here. So then I thought, okay, I still need some shadowing. So I got my Natasha Denona, because I was kind of going with this gray smoky look. So I got this little palette out. This is Hot Topics. And I put the dark brown in the corners of my eyes, and I also blended it into that other dark with Charlotte Tilbury. I put this matte all over the top, and then I blended this over it and up here at top and a little down, and I think I even have some of this blended in the halfways ups. I don't even know if you can tell that, but all those colors, except for that one brown right here, I didn't use that one, are all in on my eyes, along with that Charlotte Tilbury. So that's what I put on my eyes to give me that smoked grayish look all over. And of course I had the Pat McGraths on my cheeks. And on my lips I use the Appeal gel liner, and it's called Next Level, and I don't know if it gives us a color. It just gives us the ingredients. I don't think I've ever found a color on this, but it's kind of like a rose color. So, and I need to sharpen it, but I can still use it, so I need to, next round to be a sharpen. So I use that. I like it. It goes on real smooth. Then I use my MAC Bullet, and this is the Regal Red Frost Lipstick by MAC, and I really like this color. It's got a little bit of a shine to it, and it goes really good with that rose colored lip pencil. And then I use Buxom White Russian, which I really like. So those are the things that I have on my face, other than I did use my Estee Lauder liner yesterday, it was yesterday, but the video beforehand, I just did a little bit in the corners and just like not even a quarter way out, maybe an eighth. Today I've gone a quarter out on each side and then kind of blended it out, as you can see, on each side. So I changed that, and then I've got the white or the cream color in my waterline, and then around my eyes up halfway on both sides with this cream. If y'all haven't figured it out yet, this is my favorite liner. And yes, I do have one waiting in line, because sometimes they quit making them. I want to make sure I have it. This cream is probably my greatest asset for lightening and brightening my eyes. And you know, if you can, it doesn't have to be Estee Lauder, but I would highly recommend a cream color or white color eyeliner pencil to accentuate your eyes, especially if you want to draw them out more. And or if you've got dark eyeshadow on like I do today, it helps lighten it up a little bit. But that's my look, and I did use the Swede Pro Lash Lift Mascara, which I really like, and I'm still using my Prime Prometics serum for my eyelashes, and of course I use Prime Prometics mascara, but today I use this one, and it's working really good. I really like it. It's a nice lift, and sometimes I shouldn't go over it because I double up too much, but anyways, I really like it. I got this out of FabFitFun. So that's my look today. Now, I'm going to say this could be the end. So if it is, be sure and use hashtag Jubilee in a sentence. If you want to share this video, share it out, and you can be entered at least, 1 to 3 times in the monthly Jubilee. And I don't know when this is coming out, so it could be for July or it could be for August. But if you share it and let me know, I'll get you an entry in. And up to 3, so you can do 3 shares, 3 entries. You can share more if you want. But as for today, that's my look, and that's all I have. Let me know what you think about this look. I don't know if I'm close enough for y'all to see, but anyway, let me know what y'all think about this look. Let me know your favorite. And as usual, I wish you all a blessed and happy day.